Hello and welcome to the Chris Patrick channel. If you have not already subscribed, please do. If you enjoy this episode and any other, one way to say thank you to me is a thumbs up or sharing. I appreciate it. I really value that you have taken time to direct your attention to what I have to say. And from the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that sincerely these videos are not only something that holds me accountable by routinely and regularly putting them out, is ultimately me wanting to voice my personal experiences, my wisdom, my insight, my opinion, to benefit people. I'm 50 years old. Feel like I've lived a blessed, grateful, dynamic, amazing life up to now, and I want to continue to live that way and to share my experiences in hopes to reframe, benefit, add value, change your perspective for the better, and help people out there. That's a big part of who I am. So thank you. Now, without further ado, the topic of the day: you are the author of your life, right? It's something that just hit me a month ago. I had heard it so many times before, but for some reason it clicked and it changed. It changed from being a victim to my circumstances to taking action. I realized that lifting weights and exercising was going to come down to me and creating space for that 5 days a week, 6 days a week. It became a must because, let's be honest, and we could talk about this in another episode, health is wealth. If you get told you have a terminal disease, or you have so many days to live, or you have to go on medication which keeps you from doing certain activities that you used to love, or you've been told that you can or cannot do this, or you can't eat this anymore, you don't realize how much that changes your life. So without further ado, there are 4 sections underneath the author of your life. There are self-determination, there is personal agency, ownership, and creativity. So what do I mean by self-determination? Your values, your desires, and your goals. If you do not know these, this is the trifecta that will pivot your life in a way that will transform how you see yourself, where you go, what you do, how you live, how you view life. Do you know your values? Values, for example, for me, I value family, I value fitness, so I value my health, I value my faith, I value being outside, nature, I value friendships, I value giving to community, such as through this video, I value serving. If I don't know what my navigational direction is, I can just be anywhere, right? If I don't know where I'm going. Desires. I desire, right, certain things. I have goals. So what are your goals? What are your desires? Have you written these down? Have you taken the time to write down your goals? There's so much information out there about people who write down their goals increase the percentage of attaining these goals. Now, there are realistic goals, there are like your dream end goals, right? For example, today if I wrote, I want to become the next Tom Brady. I'm 50 years old. Might have to write that off. Okay. However, I could write, I want to double my income, or I want to improve my body that I have by transforming it through fitness and health. I can do that. I want to add better relationships to my life, right? Maybe I want to do some spring cleaning and remove some toxic friendships. I can do that. So what are your goals? Most people spend more time planning their holiday or their weekend than they do with their goals. If you don't have goals, it is like a ship out in the water. If you don't have if you don't know where you're going, the sea, which is life, will just take you where it wants to. But if you have a direction, right? If you know where you want to go, I want this. You use your tiller and you control the sails. No matter where the wind's coming from, you will tack or make your way there. Regardless if a storm comes, right? You will make your way there, right? And we won't talk about the rare instances, right? The storm crashes or wrecks your boat. Come on now. Let's get serious here. All right, so maintaining that direction, right? The point is goals. Do you know your goals? Do you have a 1 month goal? Do you know your 6 month goal? Do you know your 1 year goal? Do you know your 5 year goals? Do you know your 10-year goals? 10-year goals. So 10 years is so far away, but it's every day, every moment you will move yourself closer. And whether you like it or not, 10 years from now comes. So whether you're living that dream or not is up to you, because 10 years from now is realistically, right? As they say, the outlier, that 10 years or 10,000 hours or whatever, something like that, that if you want to achieve something, you can get there in 10 years. So think of it this way. If you're 70 or you're 50 or you're 30 and you do the math, and let's say you live to an average of 88, 85, subtract your age from that number, that's how many years you have left, in theory, to live, to be the author of your life. So you can either choose to coast through it, to kind of take the route of the status quo, or stand up out of your seat and make a declaration that you are going to live the fullest, most exhilarating life until that day. And if you live till 90 and 100, it's all gravy and beautiful blessings. I mean, let's be honest. Some of us may check out early and some of us may check out late. You never know. So what I'm saying is that you are the author of your life. Make it count. Make it happen. If you are not working at a job that fills your heart and your passion, then you must take action to find another job or create one after hours. If you go to work every day thinking, I hate this job, I don't want to be here, and you don't take any action, who's responsible for that? You. That's what I'm saying. You are the author of your life. If you want change, then you must be the one who makes things happen. Go on Indeed, go on Craigslist, go on Marketplace, start talking to other people. Write down in detail what job you want, outside, inside, with people alone, whatever. Like, hone in on that, meditate on it, visualize it, feel it, affirmations for it. Start taking action. I like to share this story with about Rodney Dangerfield. For some of you might know him and some forgot or never even heard his name. He did not get his claim to fame of comedy until much later in life. Before that, he did attempt stand-up, but in the end but for temporarily he had a he had so he started out in comedy. It didn't catch on, so he took a back seat. He took a job, door-to-door sales. He's got married, had a kid, but he continued to write his jokes, and he kind of stuffed it in a bag. And then at some point, he resurrected and went back out and started sharing his jokes, and they took. And there was a story of him doing door-to-door sales where someone answered the door. He was doing his pitch to the customer, and the customer stepped back and saw Rodney Dangerfield on a show doing his stand-up bit, and was like trying to figure out why a guy doing door-to-door sales is in front of him, because he was on stage of a very well-known show. From there, Rodney Dangerfield launched off into movies, and his career blossomed and exploded. So we're recognizing today Bob Newhart yesterday passed away. He was an accountant. Jim Gaffigan, I believe, was an accountant. And then they changed tracks. It's never too late to redirect your ship towards what will fill your heart the most. It's never too late. Don't let outside voices or inside voices tell you that. So I know that was kind of a long tangent in one direction, but I hope some of that helped you. Personal agency is number 2. You have the power to create and direct your life regardless of past experiences. So regardless of whatever has happened behind you, whatever has happened, the story you used to tell yourself until now is behind you. Remember the river analogy? Everything that's happening to you is behind you. And you can't drive your car while looking at the rearview mirror, right? You can glance at it. You can use it as a reference. You can reflect on it. But moving forward is in your control. You can control today. That's the freedom for most of you, I would imagine. Where you want to live, where you want to work, how you want to live, who you want to hang out with, whether you work out or not. There's so many things in your control. Everyone on this planet gets 24 hours in a day. How you spend it is up to you. Now, let's say traditionally you have to devote 8 hours, 5 days a week. You still, come on, let's do the math. All right, you still have to sleep, but let's do the math again. How many hours left do you have at your disposal? Are those hours being used to improve your life or damage your life? You need to reflect on that. So, regardless of what's happened in the past, you've been abused, you were divorced, you're now single, you got fired, negative or positive, you get to choose today, right here. There's the analogy of this captain who, back in the day, right, these wooden ships, they're sailed to a new land. They landed. They've decided they're going to go into battle, but they've discovered that they're outnumbered. And the captain told the archers to light the arrows and launch towards the ships. And the soldiers saw the ships on fire. And the captain said, there is now no retreat, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about no plan B. If you decide that you want to do something, decide to do it, burn the ships, no plan B, make it happen. For example, I will vulnerably share with you my new workout program. As much as I have started to see the results, it is a grind and some static for me to go. It feels like, oh, all I need to do is work out from the day I released that video that I have on my YouTube channel showing you, hey, this is me now without my shirt on, and a month from now I'll show you how I'm doing. In my head, somewhere says, all you got to do is work out for a month and then you're good to go and you can go back to your old ways. Another part of me, the new part, the one that's taking personal agency and self-determination and ownership, is no. This is going to be a must and a part of your life moving forward. So when you incorporate a new habit, especially that contrasts differently to what you used to be, for example, maybe you want to quit soda drinks, or maybe you want to quit alcohol, the bigger the change, generally the bigger the challenge. So like a pendulum, right? So if, depending on how far back or how far one challenge is, it's going to be just as much of a change. If it's just a little challenge, then or change, then there'll be a little bit of a challenge. It's just in proportion, right? However, the bigger the change and the challenge will change your trajectory for the better and will ripple through your life greater. A pebble versus a boulder thrown into the water. If you can get your head wrapped around that. All right. Ownership. Extreme Ownership is a book out there. And we'll do a deep dive on that another time. But own your consequences, good, bad, or ugly, and learn from them. So taking extreme ownership. You'll often hear leaders, executives, family members, students, significant others not taking complete ownership. Yourself, right? Let's be honest. Who's in charge of my body? I am. And I look at the mirror, I love myself regardless, okay? Let's be honest. We all should love ourselves no matter what. We are blessed, right? To be here and alive. But if I have this idea that I want to look a certain way or feel a certain way, who's responsible for that? Right? Who's going to lift the weights? Who's going to decide what food comes into my body? Who's going to decide how many hours of sleep I'm going to get? Me, ultimately. Now, everything's up for discussion on this, right? I mean, there's outliers, there's outside the norm, there's rare situations, temporary situations, but for the most part, generally speaking, if you're not happy with where your finances are, you're not happy where your relationships are, you're not happy with you've been single forever. If you go home every night to your house and you don't go out and you're just relying on dating apps, how's that working out for you? Studies show that only a small percentage of people on the dating apps are really getting the matches, and the rest are just kind of being tagged along. Ownership so like I said, your finances, if you're not happy where they are, there's a lot of things you can change, right? And your budget, where you work, how you're spending it. These are some of the ways, right? Are you investing it? Are you saving some? You may have to make some changes. You may have to give up some things. It might be temporary. But are you tracking your money? Do you know where it's going? If every month you have the same balance, that's almost definition of insanity if you're hoping for an increase. Now, yes, you could receive a check out of nowhere from a random uncle or a relative you've never even heard of, or you win the state lottery, or you get a bump, a random check from Publishers Clearinghouse. But let's be honest, you are in control of your situation. A budget will help know where your money's going. It will help know where to put it and know your financial health, if you will. All right, creativity. Now, all of what I just talked about, when you are the author of your life, you are given gifts. You. Gifts that are unique, your own, make you special, and it's up to you to share these with the world, to leave your mark, to give back, right? So that's part of what makes you unique. You are made in God's own image. There will never be anyone like you. You might have doppelgangers. You might have people that look like you, close, but there's no one like you ever, before you came along and after you pass away. Inside of you, you have gifts and talents, experiences, good or bad. Maybe you went through depression, and you survived. Maybe you survived alcoholism. Maybe you survived a divorce. Maybe you survived a travesty of great proportion, like where you buried it and you don't want to share it. There are people out there who could use your help, who could use your wisdom, who could use a lifting of the spirits, of benefiting them by sharing your experiences, because you went through that experience to help them. If you have gifts and talents with artists, you like to draw, there's great apps out there that will support your unique gift, and you can use it to sell your services, like Fiverr. If you are good in comedy, like people told Bob Newhart, you're really funny. And so he entertained the comedy route. He started going into comedy, and look where it took him. So you have gifts, you have talents, you have experiences, you have a certain way of seeing things in life. It makes you unique and different. Channel those gifts and talents, benefit the many. And by honoring and truth of who you are, you will live in alignment, and your soul will be filled. You will feel more joy, you feel more purpose, you feel more passion. And so to umbrella this whole idea of being the author of your own life. Each day you're writing a page in your book, and you can control so many hours a day on how you want to use those hours. You get to decide. It may not be easy, it may be challenging, you may have to temporarily kind of give up some things, but if you fight for what you believe in and what you want, that resistance will in theory, in my experience, my personal opinion, will give away. Now that I'm fighting to make fitness more of my daily routine, as opposed to kind of sporadic or random or seasonal or inconsistent, when I don't work out, I feel it. So I have to force myself now to take a day of rest, to recuperate, to bounce back. Otherwise I'll burn out, perhaps go and have an injury, So by making these videos regularly, I feel really weird and strange if I don't make a video or don't put a video out. So there was a lot of resistance to working out. There was a lot of resistance to putting these videos out. And now that I have made them a must, they're now becoming a part of my daily routine, daily life. And some things have had to fall off to the wayside temporarily, I hope, because learning a language and playing the piano, I have yet to get back into that in the last 2-3 weeks because of this workout, these videos, and life. But it's consciously, I'm aware of it, and I know that I want to bring those back into my life because of the compound effect, right? I'm going to get frustrated knowing that months have gone by and I'm still at a certain level with my language that I'm learning, or a certain level where I am with my piano lessons. And so, I'll fight to create that space. But right now, I'm very happy with making these videos. I'm very happy with my fitness plan. I'm very happy with removing, or for the most part, clearing out alcohol. I'm quite happy with these changes, and I'm human, and so I don't want to bust the dam with too much pressure to change too much. I feel like this trifecta of change is quite huge when looking back at the bigger picture. If I can maintain fitness on a regular basis and being sober 99% of the time, and hopefully 100, and putting these videos out to impact in a positive way to people, then I feel that I have redirected and changed course for the better, and compounding, it will get better and better and better, to then I can now go off to creating space for a language, creating space for piano. And I've also discovered that I too am guilty, just before I go here, that I'm one of those people that go home after work. And so why would I get frustrated? Why in regards to dating, why would I be so surprised that I haven't been dating much, when the fact I do the numbers and realize that I don't go out much and I don't put myself up there? And so that's why I brought up that episode the other day about going up to people, because I'm the author of my life. I have to take responsibility for my current situation and realize that no one's going to come rescue me. No woman's going to chase me down. I mean, there are a few lucky people like that. But for the most part, if I am not happy with that situation of mine with dating, I've got to go make it happen. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was extra long today. I felt that a lot of it is just pouring out from me, unfiltered, and being open and honest. And without further ado, thank you again. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your day. You are the author of your life. Take time to know your goals, your vision, and your desires. Write them down and marinate in them and take action.